This episode of The Breakfast Dish is brought to you by Edmonton Community Foundation. The Edmonton Community Foundation acts as a bridge between donors and charities to create a strong, vibrant community for generations to come. You can start an endowment fund yourself or with a group, and once it reaches $10,000, it can start distributing funds. Vital Signs is an annual checkup conducted by Edmonton Community Foundation in partnership with Edmonton Social Planning Council to measure how the community is doing, and this year's focus is on making ends meet in Edmonton. You can learn more at ecfoundation.org. That's ecfoundation.org.
Tell me your dreams over bacon and eggs. We'll share a laugh and a story and even a wish on the breakfast dish. Bop, 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 bop.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode something or other of The Breakfast Dish. I'm Karen Johnson-Diamond, and with me, as always, is my wonderful son, Griffin Cork.
I woke up at a daze. It's been 30 minutes, and I've been sitting in front of a computer. I looked up at the screen, and someone's been talking to me, said my name. I don't know what they want, but I'll ignore them.
I looked at the computer screen. I saw the face of my son. All of a sudden, he started narrating as if he was in some sort of film noir. So I decided to do the same thing, and all of a sudden, now it's become a thing. I don't know why he's doing it, but I'm going to ignore him.
My mother has forgotten one of the most important rules of comedy is that one person has to be the straight man. There needs to be someone to kind of bounce off to. If both people are in the bed, it doesn't really work. I chuckle to myself and shake my head.
I look across the room and realize, oh, there's no one else here but me, and I'm the straight person, so I'll be the straight man now. Griffin, what are you doing?
She asked me what I was doing. Why is she so curious? Always trying to get her nose in other people's business. I shake my pack of cigars and dust off my fedora.
Griffin, that's what this podcast is all about. It's about getting into other people's business.
She starts to tell me what the podcast is about, as if I didn't co-found it with her to talk about all of the cool goings on around our country and city and province, of all the arts events and cool people happening. I pet my faithful hound.
Griffin, Karen wants to know, I can't decide what I'm doing now. Can I introduce our fabulous guest? Would that be okay?
She asked me for permission, even though I told her so many times that she's her own person and she can do what she wants.
Well, okay, be quiet, Mr. Noir, because I need to tell you how completely intimidated I am right now. Because the fabulous woman we're going to speak to, let me just tell you about this person. She is the winner of the 2019 Canada's Most Powerful Woman Top 100 Award. She was named 2018 Canada's Top 40 Under 40 Personality of the Year. I want that award. She's an award-winning actress, filmmaker, speaker, business owner, and diversity and inclusion consultant. Her name is Fabienne Colas. Welcome, Fabienne.
Oh, thank you so much, Karen and Griffin. I mean, I was so happy and delighted to just listen to you both and seeing you, because we're seeing each other here through the screen, and it just, it feels good to be here. Thank you.
There's not a lot of times when we actually get like a full-on document with all of your honorifics that we get to say very officially. That was like very premium. It makes us feel very serious here, and I love it.
You guys seem to have so much fun. So thank you for inviting me to this very fun podcast.
That's a lovely thing to say. We do have fun. It's been almost 2 years now, and we're both improvisers, so we don't plan what we're going to say ahead of time. And
to our detriment, I would say. Absolutely to our detriment.
Sometimes.
I'm all for, everything in life is so scripted. So that is so great to sometimes have some, space for spontaneity and stuff like that. So everything's spontaneous. So that's good.
It says here, it lists a few of them here, but you are the queen of festivals who have created and manages 12 festivals. That's a lot. And a few of them are listed here, but do you want to just like go through them all? Is that a big question?
That's so boring for me to just go through all of them. That would be so boring for your listeners. But yeah, you know what? The saddest part, Griffin, is that I have never been a princess. So I went from nothing to a queen. I wish I was a princess first. But no, but in all seriousness, yes, we... First of all, for people to understand why we're doing 12 festivals all over the world, it's because when I came here I think it was in 2003, I lost count. And I was coming to conquer America as this, young actress, and coming here in America, and then I'm going to be working. I turned on TV, and then I don't see any Black person acting, but on the street, everybody was like, all colors and all accent. And I'm like, oh, okay, I know what's going on. Maybe they don't have any, colored, people of color that are in this business as actors. Maybe I'm the first one. So, okay, I'm going to make them know I'm here now. So I'm going to be working all over the place. And unfortunately, that was not the case. It was really because at the time, there was not, enough space for people that look like me. Not because people were racist on TV. It was just because, there were very, very lack of, a lot of, how can I put that? Exclusion, lack of inclusion, and they did not know how to start and where to go. And people were writing for what they know, who they knew, their friends, and then they all looked, the same. So anyway, so I quickly realized that this great career I wanted was not going to happen. And so I say, well, we're going to bring some films from Haiti, and some of them I played in, some of them I was the lead actress in. So somebody in the industry will say, well, this little girl, she can act. Maybe we can give her a shot. And unfortunately, there was no festivals that wanted these films. So I could not get auditions for big roles. I could not work in the industry. Everybody was telling me, go to medical school. You're still young. Go to, you would be a good engineer. Go to law school. Do anything else, but forget about art. you're too smart, go. Arts. It's all nice what you had going on for you in Haiti, but here it's America and there's so much to do, and forget about arts. And that was insulting, by the way. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? We need to change this. If I go to law school, I know I would have been one of the greatest lawyers ever. However, there would have been no change. There would have been less awareness, perhaps. So I said, no. You know what? We need another festival. We need more festivals that will give people like me a place and a voice and a platform. And this is how the first festival started. So we created the Fabienne Colas Foundation, my foundation, a not-for-profit organization to build bridges through the arts and foster diversity in the arts. And the first project was the Montreal Haitian Film Festival that became 5 years later the Montreal International Black Film Festival. And fast forward to today, we have 12, both in Montreal, Toronto, Calgary, Vancouver, Ottawa, Brazil, and then the United States in New York City and Port-au-Prince and counting, because it's important to just, use our voice and platforms for other creators to get a voice out there. That's it. What a long, boring story. Oh my goodness, that was long.
It's not boring at all.
No, that was delicious.
It's not even close to boring. I love the idea that you're coming from a performing background. You're probably right that you would probably kill it as a lawyer. You're used to people. You're well spoken. You could deal with all the punches.
Oh, thank you, Griffin. Thank you.
Well, I think you know what I mean. I think those are just skills you learn as an actor, right? And it's kind of so it's kind of surreal for me to be here. Only reason is I was in a short film that 2 years ago, I think, played at the Montreal International Black Film Festival.
No kidding.
It was a short film up in Edmonton called Black and Blue with the Guerrilla Motion Picture guys. And so I've never met the creator of a festival that I screened at.
Oh,
so it's
wow. What a full circle moment it would be if it is.
Totally.
That's good. That's so cool.
So I got it. it's 12 is so many. So I have to ask, what are the steps of starting a festival? Like, you must have like just a recipe for it now at this point.
At the time, there was no recipe whatsoever. I did not even have a business plan or whatever. I mean, fast forward to today, I just got my executive MBA from McGill and HEC Montreal in 2019. I started it and I finished it, thank God, through the pandemic. So I graduated. But I wanted to have those, business skills that I think I was lacking at some point because I was too focused on, in what I'm doing. But I did not have a business plan. I did not have anything. It all started because it was urgent. It was an urgency to create what I really wanted to see exist, because I could not find, get a voice and a platform myself, even though in my country, I was considered like let's say the Halle Berry of radio, whatever it was on TV. And I was very young. I mean, I became famous in my country very, very early. And when I came here, I thought it would just be the same thing. And then, all these worlds going to fly and it's going to be fantastic. And I knew nothing about exclusion, lack of diversity. I could not believe the situation. So the first festival started like this out of necessity. And it was a team of one. I was trying to do everything. I sold tickets. I handed up people flyers on the street. I was going on TV. I was talking on the radio. I was promoting. I mean, I was hiring volunteers, getting some volunteers enrolled. I mean, I was doing everything. And then some people joined me along the way. And then say, we're going to help you. And I was selling sponsorship myself. And then they say, well, there's something called grants that you can also have, but you have to finish the first edition. And it was, oh my God, I have to finish the first edition. Okay, wow, in 2 years? Oh wow, it's going to be a long time. And then my brother said to me one thing I would never forget. He said, if they say in 2 years, 2 years is going to happen anyway. So just keep going. Just keep going. And every time somebody would tell me, oh my God, in 2 years, 3 years, whatever, and I will remind myself, this time will come anyway. Keep going. So, the second one started really quickly. It was Haiti en folie. Haiti en folie is like Haiti on fire, because in Montreal, the largest Black community is the Haitian community. So it made sense that we had like a big festivity, like big carnival kind of stuff, big multidisciplinary festival. And it's outdoor, 100,000 people on the streets and then in the park. And then you have, over 1 million people online right now. And so it's a big thing. It started really naturally. And then some people started writing to us, why don't you come to Toronto? Why don't you come to Halifax? When are you coming with the Black Film Festival here and there? And then we started having celebrities coming to the festival supporting, like Spike Lee, like, so many other people, Alfred Woodard. And I was like, oh my God, it all started like this. And today I'm very happy to say I did not do that alone. We gathered a great team. They are the best the festival can hope for all over this country and overseas to help do these festivals. And the Calgary Black Film Festival is going to be one of a kind. That's going to be our first hybrid edition in 2022. We just can't wait.
Hybrid meaning online and in person, right?
Exactly.
Okay. I'm going to jump topics for 1 second. With all this festival work you do.
You're doing your mom finger. Okay. You just hold on.
I know I am. I want to know if you still have time to act, because you are the most beautiful, engaging person. And I could pretty much watch you read me the results of my colonoscopy. So I can't even, I want to see everything you've ever done or ever do. Are you still acting?
Oh my God. No, I don't act anymore, because when I started this endeavor, I totally understood that I had to focus and then go 100% on this, meaning all this diversity, advocacy, all this, platform building, and then promoting other artists' work, and then lobby everybody that would hear me about putting more funding for diversity, for Black films, for this thing. That takes my whole time mostly. So it was a conscious decision that I had to focus. I had to prioritize. So yes, sometimes I could just escape and then act really quickly, but I'm not anymore pursuing a acting career. However, I became a filmmaker on the way, and now today also a producer. So through another program that we have at the Fabienne Colas Foundation called Being Black in Canada, it's an incubator. Well, what I do now with our team all over the country, including in Calgary, we train and mentor emerging Black artists so that they can be equipped to be great filmmakers and do their first documentary short films. When they do these films, we screen them in all the Black film festivals that we do and other festivals. And then they get to go to CBC and CBC Gem. And then, that's great. And some of them even won, Canadian Screen Awards, the Toronto Cohort won Canadian Screen Award in 2021. The Halifax Cohort just won a Canadian Screen Award this year for Being Black in Halifax. And hopefully one day Being Black in Calgary will also win a CSA and more. So we're changing lives. When you give a BIPOC person an opportunity for his or her career to thrive and then to go to new heights, you change the whole life of that person and also the community and the family of that person. So that's what we're trying to deliver in terms of impact. So forget about me acting. I want to see other people creating films, other Black people and BIPOC people creating more films so that more people of color can be in front and behind the camera. And then I feel so fulfilled because that's just like a bigger purpose than my little self acting. That's how I see it.
You've just said something that was so beautiful, that when you do offer an opportunity to someone, not only are you enriching their life, but you're enriching their families' lives and their communities' lives as well. Yeah, what a beautiful thought.
I totally understand what you mean because even when I was saying it, when you repeated it, I could see all the value behind that as well. Yes, definitely. And sometimes we don't, it's not just BIPOC people or Black people giving these opportunities. I mean, we have a lot of great allies, white people, Caucasian people that are not even, BIPOC or Black or white or whatever, or Black, but they are allies and they give those kind of opportunities as well to, when they hire an actor or they hire somebody behind the scene as a writer or director or producers and everything else. And more of them want to do that. The problem is they can't find enough people of color that are equipped to take these positions all the time. Let's say if you go to Toronto, maybe you're going to have a lot of them. But if you go to Calgary or to Montreal or elsewhere, you have very few of them. So what we want to do is to make sure that we train as many as possible and we help them get into the system so that when an ally or anybody for that sake is looking for talented filmmakers and producers and screenwriters and script, supervisors, those kind of people, they can find people of color as well. Because otherwise, if they're not there, Karen, how are you gonna hire them? How are you gonna supposed to give them so that's, I'm not saying that there isn't any. I'm saying there are some, but there isn't, enough right now. So we need to kind of make sure that the ones that are there are going further, and the ones that need training get the proper training also.
Are you going to be here in Calgary for the festival?
Yes, I cannot miss that. Oh my goodness. It's going to be in May. It's from May 26th to the 29th. And it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic because I've seen what we've done in Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, and then Halifax, and then, Vancouver. So now Calgary, it's going to be fantastic. Should I come with my hats and stuff like that and boots and tell me how I should come?
I mean, it's kind of a dice roll. You're probably fine for not boots. We got a big snowstorm here a few days ago, but it melted in like a day and you could have worn shoes.
I'd like to know, Karen and Griffin, seriously, how did that start? And because it is one fun podcast, seriously, I'm having the time of my life here. And then you tricked me into thinking that I was in my living room having just a fun conversation. No. I need to be mindful of what I'm saying here because it's a podcast. It's going to be recorded forever. But how did you get started? Seriously.
Well, I just think you're amazing. I used to go for breakfast a lot. Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. And for the last 10 years, if I had to have a meeting with someone or if I was meeting an artistic director or a friend was in town or whatever, I'd say, let's have breakfast. Because when you say, hey, we got to get together, let's have dinner, let's have drinks, it never happens. But if you say, let's have breakfast, people always seem to find time for that. So then it turned into if there was a new artist in town or somebody that I was working with or a young emerging person that I didn't know, I'd go for breakfast with them. I'd take a picture of them and I would put it on Facebook and I would introduce them to the bigger community of Alberta theater and just say, maybe you didn't know that so-and-so is a fight director and also a movie producer and da-da-da-da-da and can also crochet, something like that. And it really made my life so great for 10 years. And then when the pandemic hit, oh my gosh, everything stopped. I couldn't have breakfast with anyone. And then my son had this glorious idea. There was a company in town, Verb Theater, Jamie Dunstan's company, that was saying, we're having an online theater fest. And it was programmed long before the pandemic. It was just things that could happen online. So Griffin pitched it as part of that online theater festival, and we did a couple episodes videoed, interviewing the people that were going to be doing their shows on this online blue light festival. And then we liked it so much, and then we just kept going as a podcast.
Our first little bit was funded by the Rosé Foundation, the Calgary Arts Development Authority, and the City of Calgary / Calgary Foundation.
And then we started, and we haven't stopped. And I get to spend this time with my son every week.
Isn't that lovely?
But also I get to meet fabulous people like you. Speaking of fabulous people, Spike Lee came to your festival. What was it like for him to meet you?
Oh, wow. Yeah, what was it like for him to meet me?
Right?
The question, I don't know why people don't care about that. I mean, they never ask me this. I mean, what a brilliant question.
That's okay. I'll text him. Spike, how was it?
Oh my goodness, I'm having fun. Actually, Spike Lee came to the Montreal Black Film Festival 3 times. The first time it was in 2014. We wanted to give him the Pioneer Award. It was going to be the first to get it. The second time it was in 2016, and the third time in Montreal was in 2018. And after that, I said, Spike, you need to come to Toronto because that's amazing. He said, well, tell me how those 2 festivals differs, like Toronto and Montreal. I said, well, you know what? Toronto, that's where you have the largest Black population in Canada. I mean, I got him at that because he's really into supporting, the Black communities and Black artists and all that. And he said, okay, I'm in. And he went, guess what? Spike Lee came to the Toronto Black Film Festival in February 2020. We were having the fun of our lives with the audience. We had a great Q&A, because we were paying tribute to him there too. He met with the Being Black in Canada cohort, like people from Montreal, Toronto, and Halifax at the time. We did not yet have the Calgary cohort. And we were all having the time of our lives. And once the festival was over, less than 1 month after, that was a lockdown and everything shut down, and then it was the big pandemic. Can you believe this? So that's what happened. So Spike is really not just an inspiration, but a big supporter of what we do. And he's done that by being present, by being there. I could text him and ask him, bounce some ideas with him sometime. And he's really generous of his time, and he really encourages a lot of emerging artists. That's just amazing. I mean, he's also a film teacher. He teaches, at New York University, and, he's a tenured professor, he likes to say, of films. No, he's just a great person. So the first time he came, I did not know what to expect, of course, because it's like you're having a legend, in your house. And when I say in my house, I mean at the festival. And you don't want to do anything that would upset him or anything that he would never come back again, But it was just easygoing, and that was just great. And that was a blessing. That was a blessing because there was the festival before Spike and the festival after Spike. Seriously.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hi friends, Caitlin
and Shanika here from Get Checkered.
We are your favorite female co-hosted Formula One podcast based out of Calgary, Alberta.
Join us weekly as we share our hot takes on the Formula One world with a little bit of sass.
Catch the podcast on any streaming service by searching Get Checkered.
Whether you're a casual fan or an enthusiast,
we hope you enjoy the ride.
I'm looking at this list of celebrities, Mother, and I would be remiss if I didn't tattle on you on behalf of my grandmother and say that there is another one that you want to ask about.
I do. And I would rather just talk about Fabienne, but my mother has for her entire life been obsessed with Harry Belafonte. Obsessed. To the point where in the 70s, I think, we have the Calgary Stampede and Edmonton had the Klondike Days, and there was Klondike Dollar Girls, and they represented Klondike Days, and they walked around handing out silver dollars, etc. And Harry Belafonte was in Edmonton, and she got to meet him. He put his arm around her waist. She swears that she has never washed that portion of her waist since then.
Gross. Gross.
She has a photo of her with Harry Belafonte. So I, on behalf of my mother, just need to know what it was like when Harry Belafonte got to meet you.
That was a great day in my life, in my career, in everything. Because Harry Belafonte people don't know sometime or don't remember that, but Harry Belafonte is at the heart of the civil rights movement in the United States. Harry Belafonte is the one that put Martin Luther King on the map. Martin Luther King was a pastor. He was very popular in the Black communities. He was very popular in his the churches and stuff. But Harry Belafonte, not Harry Belafonte, I mean Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was, a pastor and very popular in his churches. But he was not known yet in the mainstream, followed by media and stuff. They just seen him, they saw him as a pastor, like as a Black pastor at the time. And Harry Belafonte at the time was the celebrity. He was having his own TV shows. He was singing everywhere. He was touring the country. I mean, Harry Belafonte was the celebrity. And one day, I think Martin Luther King reached out to him to say, could you meet with me so we can talk about, whatever it is. I'm paraphrasing, but I don't remember exactly the words anyway. But he asked him to come and meet so they can discuss about how it could help with the movement and everything else. Harry Belafonte accepted. It was supposed to be a 30 minutes discussion. It ended up being a 4-hour discussion where Harry Belafonte promised that I'm going to help. I'm going to be with you. I'm going to, we're going to push this. And Harry Belafonte brought all his Hollywood friends to really be there with Martin Luther King one day. Marlon Brando, Charlton Heston, Sidney Poitier, and so on and so, all of them. And the media were following these people. The media would just follow anywhere these celebrities would be with cameras. And guess who they are supporting? Martin Luther King Jr. So that is how everything started as well, that he started to get a lot of traction. Because before, that the movement could not take off really in the mainstream. And that day, during this important I Have a Dream speech, guess who introduced him on stage? Guess who was talking before Martin Luther King? That was Harry Belafonte. They became great friends. I mean, seriously. So Harry Belafonte has his DNA all over the civil rights movement. He's a pioneer. He's a humanitarian. He's oh my goodness, that's one thing. But not just the civil rights movement. Harry Belafonte is also the one that called up Quincy Jones called up Quincy Jones after, I don't know if he was in Ethiopia or he just got from a trip from Africa or whatever, but he saw what was going on there, the famine and everything else, and then all the problems with the kids, malnutrition and stuff. And he called up Quincy Jones and said, we got to do something. And then Quincy got together with him, and then, Lionel Richie got involved, and then Michael Jackson, so many other people, they wrote that We Are the World song. But that was all Harry Belafonte's idea behind it. So Harry Belafonte, and then we had the We Are the World song. So Harry Belafonte walked the walk. He is not just a legend. He really changed the world. And having Harry Belafonte coming to the Montreal International Black Film Festival, when we said we wanted to give him the humanitarian award and the first one, I could not believe it was happening. I could not believe when he came. And it was a big moment. We had journalists coming from Alberta, from British Columbia, from Ontario, from New York City, from everywhere in the world for that press conference before the actual event. It was a big, big moment in Montreal at the time. And we had a chance to go for dinner, for lunch, with his wife who was there as well. And oh my God, down to earth person, very nice, great sense of humor. And he told me one thing. He said, at the tribute you're gonna do, let's say, I don't remember if it was the next day or whatever. He said, did you think of inviting so-and-so? And I was like, oh, well, Mr. Belafonte. Well, the truth of the matter is that person is a little bit controversial. And I did not want to invite that person just because I did not know what the media would say or whatever, or what the community would think. So I just did not invite that person. But if you insist, I can definitely make a call and get that person there and everything else. He stopped me and he said, and I will forever remember that. He said, Fabienne, this is your festival. You invite whoever you want to invite at any time. And there's nobody should tell you what to do, and you should not care about what the media would think or what whoever would think. It's your decision, your festival, and you just do what you think is okay, it's good for, with your heart. Within your heart, you do that. I think that moment liberated me to do everything I wanted to do afterwards. And I could not care less about what other people was thinking, because I had that motto saying other people's opinions of me, it's none of my business. I don't do anything odd, but sometimes, you're lacking that gut, bold sense of saying, let me do it because, what if people think I think I'm this, or who does she think she is, or whatever. Today, I don't think about that anymore. Before Harry Belafonte came, I used to care so much, Karen, about, what would people say if I do this? What would people do if I do this? What would they think of me? Would they think I'm pretentious? Would they think I'm this and that? After that, I could not care less if I'm doing if I know for me, it's the right thing to do. And guess what? I've made mistakes, but one thing is, your life changes forever when you think that way. When you think that no matter what people think, it's none of my business. I'm doing what I should be doing, what I think I should be doing. Your life you're different, Karen. You're a different person and you thrive. And then, you know what? Those people that maybe you would be anxious about, they're the first one to applaud you, to say, wow, that was bold. That was great. How do you have the courage to do that? That was cool. And then, if you hadn't done that, you would be there. Oh my God, what would people think if I do that? And then you lose the opportunity to do something that could make a little difference in the world. So that is credit to Harry Belafonte telling me, you have no business of wondering what other people will think of you or of a decision you will make. You just go ahead and do what feels right in your heart.
Griffin has to ask the next question now because on behalf of my mother, I'm having a little weep at how beautiful Harry Belafonte is and how beautiful you are. But Griffin, ask a question.
My question would be, for all of our Calgary listeners, is there 2 or 3 program films at the Calgary Black Film Festival that you want to shout out right now?
Well, it's just a little bit too early because the program will be unveiled on May 5th. So only at that time, at that point, we can really unveil everything. So Perfect. I don't know when exactly this podcast is gonna be airing, but people can definitely go by May 5th at calgaryblackfilm.com and they will discover the whole great, beautiful program. But one thing I can say, though, is within the Being Black in Canada program, where we have 6 cohorts from Montreal, Toronto, Halifax, Ottawa, Calgary, and Vancouver, so people can discover the Being Black in Calgary films. There will be spotlight there. It's going to be their world premieres this year. So I really, I'm inviting everybody, people from all over the place to tune in, whether online or in person, to just come and see different perspectives. Because they are between 18 and 30, and what they care about, what they're thinking of, are not exactly what I'm thinking of, because I'm like one generation older. I'm in my 40s, early 40s. So it's great to give the younger generation a voice and then the platform, and then say, hey, tell us how you see the world, and then what should we care about? What should we be thinking of? What is not working? What should be celebrated from your point of view? And it's just beautiful. These films are not only nicely done, but it's so inspiring and uplifting to see them and discover new artists, new voices, new realities, and not just the one from Calgary, because people in Alberta would also have a chance to see films from Toronto, Halifax, the other cities, Montreal and Ottawa and Vancouver as well. And I believe this is who we are together. That's Canada. That's our Canada. So, calgaryblackfilm.com for the whole program. And, I honestly cannot wait. It's not just film too, Griffin. We will be having panel discussions, both online and in person. Those panel discussions are about, of course, the industry, filmmaking, and then, what's going on, the trends, and then, but also what are the challenges and then how to overcome them? What are the opportunities as well? And we also, often invite people that are not even Black from, the Telefilm Canada, people, the Canada Media Fund, they're our partners and the big supporters of the festival, by the way. And we also sometimes invite them to come and tell us, hey, what are the opportunities that we should not miss, because it's important. So, it's not just about the cause and the cause and the cause. The cause is important, but it's also about opportunities. And then one other question people get to ask us a lot is, this festival is for whom exactly? It's for everybody. It's especially for people that are not Black, because that allows you to see the world differently, to see a different world, to see different realities, to get exposed to either stories or films or artists that you don't see every day or elsewhere. So it's like you coming, if you love cinema, it's definitely a festival for you. That's the first demographic we're looking for. It's people who are film lovers, definitely. But if you don't love cinema, but you're just curious, you just want to come and then have a good time, it's for you too. If you want to meet great people that are, interesting, exciting people, that are like smart and fun, that's for you as well. And if you just want to be like, hey, let me see which kind of new upcoming filmmakers, in the down the pipe, maybe, we can help out or support that cause, that's also for you. So it's for everybody, basically, Black and non-Black.
The lady that wrote our theme song, Alex Cowman, says in our theme song, tell me your dreams over bacon and eggs. So we've been asking each of our guests, if you are a nighttime dreamer, if you experience dreams in your sleep, to share with us your most recent or your most weirdest dream, or the one that has stuck with you all your life because you had it as a kid. Are you a nighttime dreamer?
Yeah. Well, that's a very original question. I've never thought of that. I've never been asked that before. Maybe the most dull or boring or awkward, dreams are when you think you're in that great place with, some ideal place with some ideal situation, and then you own the world, and then, you have everything for yourself, and then you wake up, it's like, no, you're just you. I mean, you don't own anything. I mean, you're just the queen of festivals, not the queen of the world, So it might be some weird dreams like this. Oh, does it ever happen to you, Karen, that you're dreaming, you're in a situation where you want to say something, but the word won't come out?
Yes, you can't talk.
What is this?
You know what? I've been doing all sorts of, every time people tell us their dreams, I've been going, what does that mean? What does that mean? But there is something in your real life that you're not expressing, apparently, when you have a dream where you can't make sound.
Yeah.
Usually my dreams are exactly like the one you mentioned, where it's a perfect world. Everything's great. I'm queen of everything. But also in my dream, I forgot to put clothes on, or I really have to go pee.
Well, I am the king of podcasts, and I am here to say that The Breakfast Dish is part of the Alberta Podcast Network, locally grown, community supported. The intro music you just heard and the outro music you're about to hear has been composed by Alexandra Cowman. All graphic design for The Breakfast Dish has been done by Morgan Ermter. Karen, what else is going on?
Coming up, May 12th to 15th, Swamp Donkey Musical Theatre in Bragg Creek is doing Anne of Green Gables, the musical. Tickets are $22 to $28. You can go to swampdonkeytheatre.com and you can see the show at 16 White Avenue, Bragg Creek, Alberta.
Fabienne, thank you so much for joining us on The Breakfast Dish.
That is fantastic. I mean, seriously, guys, the only problem with your podcast is you really trick your guests into thinking that you're not recording, that it's not a podcast, that we're just chatting. I can't believe you are mother and son. I've never seen mother and sons getting along that well, and then to working together that well. That's fantastic. That's just great. I mean, seriously.
We are some tricky podcast hosts, and the way we like to end this show is Karen will make up a question that nobody planned and might have something to pertain with what we were just talking about, but maybe not. Here's your recompense. Here we go, Karen. 3, 2, 1.
If you were to make me a true Haitian breakfast, what would you be feeding me?
Oh, there's so many to choose from. The one that I would offer you today is a traditional soup jumeau. It's a squash soup. That was the independence soup. After all Haitian people in 1804 got their independence from slavery, there was a fight, and then the slaves claimed their freedom. Everybody got together and they cooked this soup and they ate it together. And today we drink it, we eat it every, in Creole we say we drink the soup, but in English we eat the soup, not drink it. So every January 1st of every year, all Haitian across the world will eat the squash soup that we call soup jumeau. And with meat and a lot of vegetables and squash, and then that's it. And it's very meaningful, tasty, and great. And one day I hope you get a chance to eat it.
Me too.
I woke up. It seems like I had blacked out for 43 minutes. I'm sitting in front of a microphone, and there's people talking about soup. And what's that? Do I hear outro music start playing?
This has been The Breakfast Dish.